Today, we've got a good one on tap in the AFC North, as it'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you from our broadcast perch. And Charles, as we get this thing started, what are you going to be keeping your eye on?
Special teams. Field position is always a big determiner in a ball game. Who sets their offense up for success the best? That team will win the game.
We are set to go. Evan McPherson to do the honors, and we are underway from Cincinnati. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. They'll be led out by a third-round pick back in 2018 out of Oklahoma State. It's Mason Rudolph.
And when Mason Rudolph is on the field, sometimes the scouting reports have to be revised a little bit because often quarterbacks like to throw short to get a rhythm. For Mason Rudolph, he loves the deep fade and he loves the deep post pattern. Anything over the top, those are his favorite shots downfield, and that's what gets him comfortable.
The run on first down gets him a couple up to the 27.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Rudolph off play action. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Harris. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Rudolph. And this pass broken up. Well, the contact well-timed there, and now 4th down.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On 4th down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt. Charlie Jones deep for Cincinnati. Taking it about the 16. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the number 1 overall pick back in 2020 from LSU. It's Joe Burrow.
Hey, we all love a good story, and what we like even more, guys who can fight through adversity. Joe Burrow coming out of high school, goes to Ohio State, doesn't get a chance to start, transfers to LSU, not thought to be a top prospect, ends up the number 1 pick in the draft and justifies it. Tremendous play, excellent mobility, and leadership off the charts.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Now Burrow to throw on 2nd down. He'll drop this one down to Mixon. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. 3rd and 3. Here's Burrow. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. T.J. Watt able to get him down for a loss of 11, and it brings up 4th down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. So on 4th down, on is Brad Robbins to punt for the Bengals. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin. This is fielded at the 27. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. Rudolph looking to throw. And he short arms that one just a bit. It's low and incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
2nd and 10. Now Rudolph. Over the middle, complete. It's Robinson. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Throwing on 3rd down, here's Rudolph. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
Again, it's Rudolph. And quickly into the hands of Robinson. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Now a 1st down carry for Harris. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. Across the line and to the ball quickly there, Trey Hendrickson.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. They run again with Harris. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the 1st. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. A strong run there, and for a team and a coaching staff that says they're consistently striving for a solid running game, they love those plays.
Yeah, that one didn't net them a 1st down, But isn't it the type of play that you write down on your sheet? That worked pretty well. Make sure you come back to it, especially in a key situation.
Boswell's kick is good, and the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So after drive number 3 here, we have a score, and it's 3 points after the field goal.
I would say the feeling out process for both these teams, I'd say it's over, partner. Everyone understands what's going on now. You've kind of probed a little bit. Now you want to start throwing the big shots. First 3 points up on the board could be significant.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And he's got a Bengals first down as he gets it up past the 35.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
Back to Mixon on first down. He stiff arms him, fights him off. A solid stiff arm. And that's going to be another good run on first down. This one goes for 14 as he is eating him up here to begin the drive. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow. Incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops and escape this drive.
Here's 2nd and 10. From midfield now, Burrow. Out to the left, he's got Sample there. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him, because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
Burrow looking to pass. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. That's big Cameron Hayward adding another sack to his career total.
And we all know how talented this guy is, who's calling the signals for him. But even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. In motion left here, one of their tight ends. They'll start on the ground with Harris. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Harris going to get it again on 2nd down. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line that hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
Back to throw, Rudolph. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals offense returns to the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Throwing now, Burrow on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
Now a 2nd and 10. It's Mixon on the counter. They find some open field here. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 41 yards rushing for him now. He's only carried the ball 4 times.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the 1st quarter.
Burrow going to fake to Mixon and now look to throw. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he's got this down to the 35. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Oh, I like that play call there. After a run for good yards, you get a defense thinking they'll go back to the well. So that's a great time to call play action and give your receivers a little extra edge. And they complete the pass there for another 1st down.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. And that's going to be caught. T. Higgins. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. He's been a one-man wrecking crew these last couple of plays. This time 18 more and a 1st down.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
From the red zone now, here's Burrow 1st down. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On 2nd down, here's Burrow. Open man is Higgins, and he's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Bengals are able to answer the early 3 points and take a 1st quarter lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle 3rd of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. after the touchdown. McPherson on to kick this one away. This taken in right around the goal line. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Steeler offense set to regain possession. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Rudolph going to lead the Steelers up now 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Throw left side complete. That's Warren. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Now run straight ahead with Warren. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Harris running straight ahead. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Second down and 4. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3-and-out.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 41. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. Down to about the 37.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
From the 37, they work on 2nd and 6. They'll try the air now. Here's Rudolph. It's brought in by Harris. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. Rudolph now to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9. And they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. Rudolph throwing again. And that will be incomplete as well. That'll bring up 4th down as his Cincy defense stands up on 3rd.
Tight defense there on 3rd down, but what a product of good coaching and even better execution because he realized he's in field goal range. No sense forcing anything, and he made sure he didn't.
Boswell's kick is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. He might be being set up here for a busy ball game. Already 2 kicks here in the first quarter, and he's knocked both through the posts.
And for now, you know they'll be happy getting those 3 points, but what they really want is to find a way for him to kick extra points instead of field goals.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Burrow will throw. This pass complete to Higgins. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Burrow hooking up with Higgins for a Bengal first down. After one, a 1-point game, 7-6. Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. As they've got it as we resume action. Burrow's throw into the hands of Sample. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. And Burrow going to throw again. Open man is Higgins. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now a 2nd and 6. Now Burrow. This one hauled in by Sample. Just a gain of a couple there. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
Well, that was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Here's Burrow. And a throw there going to be incomplete. The Steeler defense locked in, forcing an upcoming 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Bengals first down by a good couple of yards as they end up getting 6 there on 4th and 4.
And that's a big pickup of a first down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. Meanwhile, Burrow's throw caught by Higgins. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that will bring up second down. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 54 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
On second down, here's Mixon. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And he is going to have the Bengals first down by about a yard as they're able to convert on 3rd and 2.
On third down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Again, it's Mixon. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
And that run was memorable for only one reason. There was absolutely no place to run with the football. No gaps, no creases, no gain.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Drew Sample from 10 yards out. And the Bengals had 6 to their lead.
You got to figure down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
McPherson on for the point after. And it's up. It's good. Our score 14-6. That drive along that spanning 15 plays. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Taking it about the 1. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. Just, I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
2nd down and 3. Rudolph. He's got his tight end Fryermuth over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Throwing on 3rd down, here's Rudolph. That is incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. At that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
On is Presley Harvin now as he'll send this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. First down. Here's Burrow. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hudson. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down, that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Mixing up the middle. And he stopped immediately there. The tackle by Cole Holcomb. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done, because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Now Burrow to throw on 2nd down. Throw right side into the hands of the tight end Sample. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 30. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
For a tight end, he's got good straight line speed, and on that route, he's often the guy that gets overlooked. Nice job there finding him in stride for really good yardage.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and 9. Now it's Burrow. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 19. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Burrow looking to pass. That's complete to the tight end Sample. So give him 2 yards there on the completion. 3rd and 7 now.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
The offense on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Throw right side, pulled in by Higgins. And the Bengals are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Mixon. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding him out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Extra bulk up front for 2nd and inches. 3 tight ends. Off the play fake. Here's Burrow. Toward the pylon, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. The Steeler defense proving its mettle here. And now this is 3rd and goal. Mixon trying to punch it in. And he'll take this into the end zone for Bengal TD. A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Bengals go up by 2 touchdowns.
Sometimes offense can get too cute down near the goal line, but there's nothing fancy about this one. As Coach Lombardi would say, we get a seal here, and we get a seal here, and we run this play in the alley. And that's good work to hit the hole hard and finish in the end zone.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead is up to 15 now. after the touchdown. McPherson on to kick this one away. And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Now Rudolph on first down. He finds his man Johnson. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3 at the 27-yard line.
Now the Steelers hustling up to the line of scrimmage. Now Rudolph. He's going to look deep down the field. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Early on, the running game's been working well. The offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Rudolph on 3rd down. Setting up the screen, Harris. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down.
And that's a gutsy call there on 3rd and short, because that's a play that's got a good chance of being blown up in the backfield for a big loss of yardage. But nice job out wide to gather in that screen pass, use his blockers well, and pick up the first down.
Middle of the field, it's Robinson. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Second and a couple. Back to the air, Rudolph. And his throw is incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Here's Rudolph. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Here's Presley Harvin now. A good kick, 49 yards, just 3 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. T. Higgins leading the Cincinnati receiving corps out for this upcoming series. He's up over 100 yards, has the touchdown. He's a big-time receiver in this league, so the question becomes, how do you limit him going forward?
Well, you know the guys trying to cover him, they haven't had a whole lot of success thus far, and while they will still accept the challenge, maybe you have to change your focus. You have to get after the quarterback a little bit, disrupt his timing, because right now it feels like pitch and catch. Make sure he's not able to have clear sight lines to him, and maybe that'll slow him down.
And this is not the guy you want to let play pitch and catch. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now it's Burrow. And this is going to be incomplete.
A good job in coverage there. They took away his top read on the play, so he went through his progressions and ended up settling on his running back who scored on their last possession, but the coverage held. It goes incomplete.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Burrow will throw. Man open, that's Jamar Chase, complete. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. And Burrow going to throw again. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
Well, he left no doubt about that one because even though he hasn't left the pocket, he's got a receiver in the area, so it's not grounding, even though there's no way that ball was going to be caught.
On 3rd down, Mixon. And spins away. So we've reached halftime here in the Queen City, and it's the Bengals leading this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, back to you guys in just a moment, but welcome everyone to our Creative Village studios in the EA Sports Halftime Report. The Bengals got a strong performance in that first half by Joey B, their quarterback, Joe Burrow. His 2 touchdown passes helped pave the way for his guys to take this lead into the intermission.
The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Bengal offense ready to go to begin this 3rd quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's Burrow. Throw left side complete. That's Boyd. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Inside handoff to Mixon. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
From the 34-yard line here, 2nd down and 8. Now Burrow. This one hauled in by Sample. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
They go play action with Burrow. That's taken in by Higgins. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets, because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Working the middle here, that's complete to Sample, the tight end. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available, because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
From the gun, a give to Mixon. Flash those fast feet, but they'll drop him at the 5-yard line as he can't get any closer to the end zone. 77 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon. 2nd and 3 with the ball sitting on the 5. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. That's to Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. A 5-yard touchdown catch. And the Bengals take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, as one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. Rudolph going to lead the Steelers up now 1st and 10 at their own 26. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Still 9 yards to go on 2nd down from the 27. On the give, this is Harris. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
A third down now. Those last two plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Now it's Rudolph. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
The Steelers send out their punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Here's Jones fighting through. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here again comes Joe Burrow and the offense for the Bengals. Last series, the ball never hit the ground. 6 of 6, touchdown pass. So whatever he did then, do it again, right?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of when I watched the best quarterbacks throw 7-on-7 or even routes versus air. They're accurate. The receivers catch it. The ball never touches the ground. Or if you want to take it to basketball, a well-executed fast break, right? Pass, 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 finish at the rim, basket. Yeah, ball never hits the ground there either.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
Here's a give to Mixon. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
The Bengals bring out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And they will take over 1st and 10. And now out come the Steelers. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Here comes a 1st down throw from Rudolph. Quick completion here to Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Now a 1st down carry for Harris. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
So after the loss, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Rudolph looking to throw it. In trouble, and he's taken down. Trey Hendrickson picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Rudolph looking to throw. Open man, that's the tight end, Freiermuth. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here. 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Throw right side, pulled in by Higgins. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
3rd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
No surprise to see his sideline fired up by that big play. Heck, we're fired up, and we're supposed to be neutral. That's a quarterback putting his body on the line to fight and just barely get the 1st down. When he does something like that, it gets everyone ready to lay it all out there and try and match his intensity.
And he's got a Bengals 1st down as the tackle made at about the 43-yard line. He's turning in a pretty impressive performance running the football and a big reason why they have this nice lead.
And in days gone by, we would clip this out and put it up on the refrigerator, wouldn't we? Clip out the box score. Nowadays, not too many newspapers out there. Maybe you screenshot it online.
Back to Mixon on 1st down. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's 2nd and a couple. From midfield now, Burrow. He will find his man Chase complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A gain of 32 that time.
Everything's been going right here in this one. This offense, they've been in complete control from the outset. And here's another big play. These kind of routes have been open all game long, and they continue to take advantage.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. A handoff to Mixon. They'll get 4 back there on the run, but now they're looking up at a 3rd and 12 situation.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. 9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Burrow looking to pass. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, he just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
Now it's Burrow. And he's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. Tanner Hudson, a 1-yard touchdown reception, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
And McPherson on for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A 10-play drive that time. And it ends with a Bengals score. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. On the return from his end zone, Godwin Igwebuike. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Logan Wilson that time there to bring him down.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain, so you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
On 2nd down, this is Harris. And he'll get about 3 up past the 25.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
Rudolph on 3rd down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers 1st down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
Well, we use the term pitch and catch a lot to denote an easy completion. We just saw one right there on 3rd and 3 to pick up the 1st down.
Why are those so tough to defend? Just because they hit so quickly?
Yeah, it's all about timing and confidence. Quarterback sees it, rips it, there you go.
Rudolph's throw pulled in by Robinson here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards that time, but a Pittsburgh 1st. Well, a lot of ground left to make up, obviously. A lopsided contest, and we're already in the 3rd quarter. And they won't get it all back in one play or one drive. That's cliche, but it's true, Charles. If they can just maybe get plays like that and get a little momentum built, they can get the scoreboard a little closer.
And can you add some blinders to the cliche, meaning keep these guys from looking at the scoreboard because that doesn't help them at all right now. Their focus needs to be on finishing every drive with points and playing mistake-free football from here on out.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 down at the 33. Rudolph. It's brought in by Harris. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. We have played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Back to the air, Rudolph. He's got his tight end Freiermuth over the middle. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
3rd and 2, Rudolph. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there, it's going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Back to throw, Rudolph. That's to the pylon and incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. Here's Rudolph off play action. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Logan Wilson, the one who got in there and dropped him to the ground.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
This defense has not surrendered a touchdown yet. You better believe they're determined not to here on 3rd and goal. Now Rudolph. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Trey Hendrickson able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
And it appears to me that someone's defensive coordinator is jockeying for a raise. A sack on 2nd and goal, a sack on 3rd and goal, now brings up a decision on 4th down.
The field goal doesn't help. They're going to go for the 6 here on 4th and goal. Here we go on 4th. Rudolph. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. It doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. He'll hand it off here. This is Mixon. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 120 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, But they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
The tackle made by Landon Roberts.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
And now they will throw it with Burrow. He gets this one to Boyd. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
Brings up 3rd and 6.
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Here's Burrow. And he's going to be taken down short of the first, right around the 15-yard line. He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run, and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. This just 32 yards officially from the right hash. McPherson's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So after 5 touchdowns offensively, hey, maybe it's time to get the kicker a little work, and he's able to connect there.
I love that empathetic side of you. You're worried about him getting some action, getting to be a part of the game. Well, he got in and got it done.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Rudolph's throw complete there to Johnson. And Johnson going to have a Steelers first down as the tackle made right at the 30-yard line.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Rudolph now to throw. Got his man, it's Warren. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
Meanwhile, the throw here is complete. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Again, it's Rudolph. Quick completion here to Johnson. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. Now, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the 2nd half.
And I get it. In this situation, you know, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down? They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
From the 41, here's a 2nd and 7. Again, it's Mixon. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have the Bengals 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And he'll get this just inside the 30-yard line. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys,
made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Got it here at the 29 on 2nd and 8. Now Joe Mixon. And he'll get this pretty close to a first down as he's tackled at the Steelers' 23. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. Fights loose. Shreds into the stiff arm. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. They'll give it to Mixon, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run. Give it right back to him and let him cap things off.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Igwebuike to return it from his end zone here. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
Now Rudolph on 1st down. Looking for Pickens. He's got him on the out route. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. But it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Rudolph throwing on 2nd down. Finding Pickens for another catch. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 14 yards that time for number 14. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Rudolph on 1st down. That swung out wide to Harris. So the completion good for 7 there, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3 at the 41-yard line.
Here's Rudolph. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Rudolph looking to throw it. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Well, this game, it was well in hand early, never really in doubt. Charles, you and I do so many games together. There's so much parity in the NFL, a lot of close battles. This was not one. Tip your cap to them for a really impressive effort.
Yeah, and you know, as the game went on, I think the defense kind of got together and said, you see our guys on offense, they're just putting up point after point. We need to leave our mark somehow, too, and they did it, pitching a second-half shutout.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Bengals as we say so long from Cincinnati. To get us started now, the kicker, Chris Boswell. And we are underway from Cincinnati. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Bengals offense here ready to rock and roll. Joe Burrow is the man at quarterback.
And when you come into the league as the #1 guy selected, a lot of hype comes with it. And sometimes that weight can be unbearable. But this young man, he took that weight on and handled it as well as you can imagine. And I love his ability to make a second, third reaction play and create downfield.
They go play action with Burrow. Man open, that's Jamar Chase complete. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. A good start offensively. 15 yards on the game's initial play. And we see the emphasis early here. Get your star receiver involved. Able to do it successfully.
Not a bad start to begin with, that's for sure. And to me, this play says our guy is better than your guys. Because, you know, a player of his stature, he won't just be single covered all game long. It's going to involve multiple people. And right away, they told the other team, guess what? He's just better.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be second down. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. He'll drop this one down to Mixon. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way. And really, we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Now Mixon. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. Really a solid start here on the opening drive, Charles. He's now 4-4, and they're already in plus territory.
Brandon, he's been so precise to start this game, like we're watching an operation taking place right now. Master surgeon at work.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. And he'll take this down to the 33.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
From the 33, here's 2nd and 6. Now it's Burrow. This is caught. It's Boyd. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 14. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far in the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
From the red zone now, here's Burrow, first down. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Drew Sample, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Bengals get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. On the return from his end zone, Godwin Igwebuike. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. So here are the Steelers now to take over for the first time. As we take a peek at the Oklahoma State product, their quarterback, Mason Rudolph.
Every time he leads his team out, there's no questioning. He's put the work in to earn his place in the NFL. There's no shortage of stories we've heard throughout his career about the effort he puts in to be in this spot. And that motivates everybody on his team.
Rudolph going to lead the Steelers up now 1st and 10 at their own 16. They'll try and start this drive in the air. They'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
So 2nd and 4 from the 22. Here's Rudolph off play action. Pass complete. George Pickens with it. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
On 1st down, Rudolph. Complete. It's Johnson. taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
He's going to air one out. And this one is incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Rudolph. Throw left side, hauled in by Pickens. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Back to the air, Rudolph. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. The Steelers try it, but they come up empty on 4th down. And the Bengals will get the football back. Well, I guess they wanted to get that touchdown right back on their first drive, but failed to do so.
And what they have to be careful of is pushing so hard to stay right there, to stay even with their opponent, that they gas themselves out. You know, it's almost like horse racing. Sometimes you don't want to take your horse right to the front and let them do all the work and then someone catch them at the end and pass them up. You want to make sure you moderate what you're doing along the way and then go for the big finish.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Now Burrow. He gets this one to Burrow. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
A really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw. When they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations, ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a first down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Another one into the hands of Jamar Chase. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's another first down as they look his way again, this time 19 yards. Had the offense humming on the first drive. Not much has changed here on drive number 2.
No, and I think a lot of times confidence just really kicks in for a team. They may have been confident going into the game, but once you prove it on a drive, it's hard to get out of that mindset, isn't it? And look, let's face it, we can all...
Touchdown! Drew Sample. Beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Bengals have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And it ends with a Bengals score. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. Now a play fake, and it's Rudolph. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively. That's 2nd down.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
On 2nd down, here's Rudolph. He finds Pickens over the middle. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Third down and 6. Now it's Rudolph. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball 3, and it's 4th down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
On 4th down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt. Charlie Jones deep for Cincinnati. The good kick, 48 yards, 4 on the return. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. Cincinnati set to take over once again. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
Ball on the 27. Here's 2nd down and 5. Now it's Burrow. He completes it to Boyd. And Boyd going to pick up a Bengals 1st down as he'll get this up past the 35-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it'll keep the drive moving.
Well, it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
2nd and 10. Here's Burrow. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Burrow looking to pass. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have the Bengals 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A pretty sizable deficit here in the 1st quarter. This defense probably need to get off the field in those situations on 3rd down.
And you and I both know in this huddle before that last 3rd down play, that's exactly what they talked about. Let's make a play. Let's get off the field. Let's reverse the momentum. Instead, they got hit with another 1st down, almost back to the drawing board.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 46. It's Mixon on the counter. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Alex Highsmith simply would not be stopped on that play.
Well, let's face it, that's just a helpless feeling for a running back there. He's looking up to find a hole, and all he finds is a whole lot of ticked-off linebacker.
They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. From midfield now, Burrow. This pass complete to Higgins. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and 3rd and 8 now. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. On 3rd down, Burrow. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the 1st down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They're passing here. Joe Burrow out of his hands quickly to Higgins. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. Nothing flashy there. The slant to the slot.
Oh, and the frustration for the defensive guys, because it's a quick play, and you know it's going to be a bang-bang play in terms of the throw and the catch, and then he's able to absorb the contact and complete it.
Now it's Burrow. Out to the left. He's got Sample there. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 14. Passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another 1st. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Burrow will throw. And that is incomplete. Now the coverage a little too good there, but it's 2nd down.
As soon as he leaked out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
Now it's 2nd and 10. Throwing again, it's Burrow. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
3rd and 2, now Burrow. Pass taken in by his big tight end. Touchdown, Bengals. Drew Sample doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter. And the Bengals have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Boy, still in the 1st quarter, and look out. I mean, they are on pace for over 80 points in this game. I don't know that they'll get there, CD, but this has been impressive to watch so far.
That certainly would be history in the making, wouldn't it, partner? I'm glad we're here to actually watch and see if it actually happens, although, like you, I have my doubts, but they are firmly in control of this game.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good, and it's now 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the 1st as they kick this one away. This taken in right around the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. And the Steelers set to take the field. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Now a throw here to his running back, and he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Well, these guys certainly need something good to go their way because this first quarter has been something of a disaster for them trying to move the ball. But that completion there maybe can get them focused and moving in the right direction.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Rudolph. He's going to sling this deep downfield. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Rudolph looking to throw it. A short one there to Freiermuth. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. Again, it's Rudolph. Here's Freiermuth again. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. (21-0) our score after 1. Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here as they'll start with a 1st and 10 at their own 20. The Bengals drive about to get going. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So, to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
The rush defense stout on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow. That is caught. And they work this well upfield across the 45. They give them 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Mixing up the middle. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 11 more on that one and another first down.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Again, it's Mixon. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
2 minutes gone by, 2nd quarter. Now Burrow. Throw left side, complete to Chase. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 17-yard line. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
This is caught, and he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here. These last few plays, they have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
This offense continues to be a hot knife through butter. 3 drives, 3 scores, and knocking on the door again on drive number 4. Mixon diving for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown. Well, nothing fancy there, Charles. You had 3 tight ends on the field. They were going to run the football. The defense knew it, but the defense couldn't stop them.
And I haven't met an offensive line yet that doesn't get more satisfaction out of running the football into the end zone than pass protecting. They had determination on their side, and they got it done.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And a rout is on here in this 1st half. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Taken at the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Steelers ready to take over on offense. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Rudolph going to lead the Steelers up now 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Defensively, Sam Hubbard, the former Buckeye, there to stop him.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Now 2nd and 9. They'll fake it. Now Rudolph. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And this offense on 3rd down today, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, here's Rudolph. And this is caught, but I don't think he stayed in bounds. No, he didn't. It's incomplete. The throw took him past the boundary, and it's 4th.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. On the return is Jones. A solid 12-yard return after the 55-yard punt. The Bengals set to take over. Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow. And, I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
Burrow's throw into the hands of Sample. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's second down.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
This one hauled in by Sample. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because there should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. And the Steelers are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered. They'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They'll start at the 40, so great starting field position following the interception. So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. After the interception, here's Rudolph. A short one there to Freiermuth. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Rudolph. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Sam Hubbard making his presence felt in the backfield.
Now that's a heck of a moment for your first sack of the game, because if this long drive ends without a touchdown because of that sack, we're going to look back and say that might be one of the biggest plays of this contest.
Now 3rd down and very long. Now it's Rudolph. Under pressure, they got him again. Trey Hendrickson providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
The Steelers send out their punter now. He's been terrific so far. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Mixon. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. And Pittsburgh with 6 defensive backs in the game here on 3rd down. Here's Burrow. Looking deep here for Chase. This is caught at the 20. A big play there for Cincinnati. 61 yards.
I'll tell you what, this is not going to be a fun discussion at halftime for this defense. They've been absolutely taken advantage of in the first half. And here's another play for big yardage.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. Burrow looking to pass. That's complete to the tight end Sample. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
2nd and 7. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Over the middle, it's complete. And the Bengals are going to have a 1st and goal as he'll be taken down at the 7-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Touchdown! Drew Sample on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Bengals are able to add on to their first-half lead. So this now 34-0 with the extra point pending. And, Charles, I thought these guys might have the advantage coming in, but I didn't expect this.
Well, I'm glad we're going with full transparency here because I didn't either. I thought we might be looking at a 24-20 type game, maybe 13-10 at the half. But this has been total, utter domination.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
2nd and 5. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep a defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
This offense so far on 3rd down, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Rudolph looking to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
Harris running straight ahead. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd down and 6 now. Play action. It's Rudolph. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Rudolph now to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
He already came through for them on this drive. No surprise that they were hoping he could do it again.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Rudolph going to throw again. Got his man. It's Warren. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Here's Rudolph. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That goes for a gain of 31.
This play is a thing of beauty when it works as designed because they let the running back slip out of the backfield and head down the sideline on a wheel route. Number one, it's easy for him to get lost. And number two,
Really tough for the linebacker to run with him. And this ball's right on the money.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And the Bengals are going to have it here at their own 15. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
There's a look at receiver Jamar Chase as the Bengals get set to go on offense. Making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defense, is getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
They will throw on first down with Burrow. Slant pass to Bull. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Now it's Burrow. Out to the left. He's got Sample there. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
This offense is looking very comfortable here in this first half. Very relaxed, very smooth, very efficient. No wasted motions. Things are definitely going their way, and they continue to move the ball downfield.
So we've reached halftime here in the Queen City, and it's the Bengals leading this one. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report.
The highlights from the first half, all one-sided. This one got out of hand early, and now you have to wonder how these teams will approach this second half, because this one's already close to being in the bag, if it's not already. We saw a strong first half out of the quarterback, Joe Burrow. He was nothing short of amazing, throwing 4 touchdown passes to help push his guys out to a sizable halftime lead.
The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. Igwebuike to return it from his end zone here. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. We'll see, Charles, if they had a chance to hit the reset button at halftime. They have not scored. They're facing this big deficit. And if they're going to come back, it's going to have to start right now.
Yeah, and for them, it's not dwelling in the negative because, yes, they were totally ineffective in the first half. But we've seen many games that have flipped around in the second half. It all starts with this drive right here. They get something good going, put some points on the board, they begin to have hope.
Rudolph's throw complete there to Johnson. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
All runners count on their eyes to find the gaps and creases, to find open space. There was absolutely none on that one. Totally swallowed up on that play.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Harris again. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down. Those are the type of runs that we did not see from him in the first half, but a good start to the third quarter.
And I know what everyone's thinking that's watching this. They did a great job adjusting at the half. Oftentimes you don't make adjustments. You just dial into your game plan a little bit better, and maybe they're starting to make some headway.
On the give, this is Harris. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. It's Logan Wilson there to bring him down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's Rudolph now on second down. Going across the formation, he finds Freiermuth. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 31-yard line. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Rudolph's throw hauled in by Washington. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. First and 10. From the red zone now, Rudolph. Pickens on the slant. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's second down.
What terrifies defenses when they see slant routes thrown is that the receiver is on the move, and oftentimes he catches it and gets upfield. Does a really nice job rallying to him and stopping him for a minimal gain.
On second down, here's Rudolph. And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on third down. Rudolph throwing again. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Steelers are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
But with the score where it is, you're not thinking field goals right now. You need touchdowns. So that was a much-needed conversion there on third down.
They hand this off to Harris. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the third quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll have to do. They do need to run it occasionally to take a few hits off the quarterback, because right now, you just know those pass rushers are fired up to get after him.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes third and goal. Rudolph. That throw finds Pickens in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A 5-yard touchdown catch. And the Steelers are able to claw one back. And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And he converts, and it cuts the lead to 35-7. So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it was finished off by a George Pickens touchdown grab. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. The first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. They'll get this to the 24, and it's second down.
The way things have gone in this one, the running game's been something of an afterthought, and that's not been too bad for them, has it?
Yeah, the offensive returns have been good, but I guess we figured he in the ground game would be a bit more involved. Here's a 2nd and 8. Once again, they run with Mixon. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there.
He's had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. 3rd and 2. Inside handoff to Mixon. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 41 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
I know at times today's NFL sure feels like everything's about the guy throwing the football. But when you got a guy who can run it and move it and gain this type of yardage, you'll take him each and every time.
A handoff to Mixon. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I'm getting a sense that the momentum of this game is changing since the break. Nice play there, and this D is fired up.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. And now they will throw it with Burrow. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. A big play there for Cincinnati. 41 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Throw left side, complete to Chase. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line. The partner is still in the 3rd quarter, but they've got this one well in hand and still airing it out with gusto and picking up some nice gains.
Even in lopsided games like this, you don't really see starters get lifted or the foot come off the gas before the 4th quarter. No one wants to leave any doubt when they're playing well. They just want to continue the process.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Again, it's Burrow. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Cam Hayward, always a force, got back there for the sack.
And on 2nd and goal, they decide to throw it again, and this result is even worse. They take a sack. On 1st down, it was simply an incomplete pass. Not a good first 2 plays, beginning with 1st and goal.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw. They'll drop to throw. Finds Higgins for another catch. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectations.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all, because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They brought it from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary.
So this drive maybe didn't end with the same kind of success they had in the first half, but they do add 3 to their lead.
And defensively, I think they went in there at halftime and made a pact with each other and said, look, we can't let these guys keep driving it right down our throats. Not perfect giving up 3, but a much better start than the way they played in the first half.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. Igwebuike to return it from his end zone here. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. George Pickens back out now with the rest of the offense. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that, because it has been pretty good. But there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
Rudolph's throw completes a Freiermuth. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard, trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful. Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch, I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Rudolph throwing on second down. He finds his man Johnson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
Back to the air, Rudolph. A short one there to Freiermuth. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. More than one defender there, and that's a loss of 5 on the sack. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well, and that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. And out now, here come the Bengals. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added on to their lead. But that was a drive that was so long, it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game.
but we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive, and he's going to profess that he was happy to get points,
but
and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, after this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment.
They try and run on first down, but to no avail. Tackled for a 2-yard loss in the backfield.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Burrow looking to pass. This one hauled in by Sample. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. 3rd and 7 now. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Here comes 3rd down and 7. Now Burrow. He'll drop this one down to Mixon. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
There are a lot of tough routes to try and cover. When you see a runner come out of the backfield and run this angle route, looks like they're going to the flat, and then they put their foot in the ground and cut back sharply inside. Not easily covered, and then when they catch it, good momentum built up by them as well.
And able to pick up the first. Oh, wide open, complete. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
And as we all remember, these two were connecting back in their days at LSU when they were winning the national championship. But it wasn't just on game day. The amount of time they put in before practice, after practice, off days, that forged their connection. And it still continues here in the NFL.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. And Burrow going to throw again. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. And now a tip of the cap to the man under center, Charles. He just went over 400 yards passing in this ball game. He's got the touchdown passes to boot, taking pretty good care of the ball. Just all around a really solid performance.
Yeah, just check, and check, right? Because he certainly showed he was worthy of the trust that his team put in him. A handful of touchdowns to his credit thus far. Now he's just crossing up yardage milestones, and win or lose, his name has to be in serious discussion for player of the game.
And Chase going to pick up a Bengals first down as the tackle is made right at the 25-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this...
Touchdown, Bengals! Tanner Hudson, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Bengals continue to pour it on here in the 4th. Now, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Rudolph going to lead the Steelers up now 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And his throw here is incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Back to the air, Rudolph on 2nd down. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Throwing on 3rd down, here's Rudolph.
That throw right side here going to be incomplete.
Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have the Steelers first down. And they come up with a big one there to keep the drive moving and then some. Now, fourth quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board to make this thing look just a little bit better.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
Good call there on first down. And, Brandon, I'm getting better over the years and not screaming out, screen, screen, screen with my defensive training. They want to keep those pass rushers honest, and they did so there, and they wind up picking up positive yardage.
Here's Rudolph now on 2nd down.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Again, it's Rudolph.
Got his man, it's Warren.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
For as many sacks as this defense has, you can understand their willingness to try and get upfield and get another. So what a really smart play call here to use their aggression against them, go with the screen, and they're able to get the first down.
Back to throw, Rudolph.
Setting up the screen, Harris.
Only 3 there on the screen at 2nd down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
At the 36-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 7.
Now it's Rudolph.
And quickly into the hands of Robinson.
And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 25-yard line. 11 yards for number 11.
Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
And down inside the 15 he goes. 12 more yards there and another first down. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Here's a quick throw to Freiermuth.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and that will bring up second down. And he's been one of their few bright spots here this afternoon.
And as you pointed out, so far he's gotten his. That's not been the issue at all. But the teammates, the other guys, they've been shut down. That's why the defensive guys have to feel pretty good, even though he's over 100 yards.
Yeah, he topped 100 with that last catch.
On second down, this is Harris.
And a nice pickup there. He gets about 5 down to the 4-yard line.
So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward. If we lose yardage, this is the play call that I'll have ready.
Rudolph on third down.
Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up fourth down here.
And a field goal obviously means nothing here. They're going to go ahead and go for it on fourth down. Here we go on fourth. Rudolph. And it's going to be batted down. And we'll go the other way with the football. The Steelers try it, but they come up empty on fourth down. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. So that's the second time this game they've given it up on fourth down. They're now 1 for 3 on fourth down conversion tries.
But they must feel good about what they're doing, right? They continue to go for it on fourth down. Give the defense a lot of credit, though. They've stopped them 2 out of 3 times. Usually you have fourth down plays that you have dialed up and ready to go and you think are going to be successful. Not so far in this game.
Now Burrow down around his goal line. His throw incomplete.
We're up big here in the fourth quarter, up really big. That pass and incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points, but they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
On second down, here's Mixon. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Burrow will throw.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. But one thing we've both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Cameron Hayward getting upfield to make the stop.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
Here's Burrow. Dumps it off to Mixon. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Burrow going to fake to mix it and now look to throw. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. 62 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
And having built that kind of a lead, they're able to do whatever they want right now. All momentum on their side, especially now running the football.
Yeah, you're talking about a defense being on their toes. They don't know what's going to hit them next at this point.
No, they went from toes to heels, and they're trying to figure out how to get back to the toes part.
Back to Mixon on first down. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
2nd down and 4. They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. And that's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
They'll look to make it 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. They need a yard here. Play action. It's Burrow. And that will be incomplete. So 2 3rd down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a 3rd, and now they deal with 4th down.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
They'll try and run with Mixon. And, boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. Denied on 4th down is Joe Mixon. And this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear a people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
Rudolph going to lead the Steelers up now 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Johnson's got it complete.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Now Rudolph. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Rudolph looking to throw it. That is caught. And he will have a Steelers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
Rudolph's throw complete to Freiermuth. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Oh, that's a nice job of clearing space in the middle of the field for your tight end. He's going to start behind the line and run an angle route
hoping to kind of get lost in the middle of the field. And this is put right on him, and he's able to pick up a first down.
Back to the air. Rudolph got his man complete over the middle. That's Johnson. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver, and it's down at 2.
2 yards to go.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
3rd and 2, Rudolph.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 12-yard line. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage, as shown by that last play.
Now a first down carry for Harris.
And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
That run wasn't a big breaker, but I don't think the guys on offense mind very much. They've got a nice drive going, and they might just be luring the defense in a little bit. They can probably come back with a play action, maybe go over the top. But right now, on this drive, their playbook is open.
Rudolph throwing on 2nd down.
Pickens on the slant.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
Rudolph going to throw on 3rd and 1. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. So 2 third down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a third, and now they deal with 4th down.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Boswell's kick is good, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the 4th quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much.
They try to eat some clock with Mixon. Fights off the defender.
Out past the 30, 2nd down coming up.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
Now a 2nd and 6.
Again, it's Mixon, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. On 3rd down, Mixon. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
The Bengals bring out their punter now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. Here's Austin. Well, this was a blowout supported by both sides of the ball today, Charles. It would be easy to look at the offense and say, man, they were clicking, and they were, but don't forget about the effort by this defense as well.
Yeah, they weren't going to let up just because the lead was safe. They wanted to play as big a part in this game as their offense did in making this blowout. They needed to be noticed as well, and they played accordingly.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports.
It's Madden NFL 24. And coming up, it'll be no-holds barred between AFC North rivals. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's coming up next.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at what's now known as Paycor Stadium here in Cincinnati. Today, we've got a good one on tap in the AFC North, as it'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you from our broadcast perch. And Charles, as we get this thing started, what are you going to be keeping your eye on?
Special teams. Field position is always a big determiner in a ball game. Who sets their offense up for success the best? That team will win the game.
We are set to go. Evan McPherson to do the honors, and we are underway from Cincinnati. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25.
So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. They'll be led out by a 3rd-round pick back in 2018 out of Oklahoma State. It's Mason Rudolph.
And when Mason Rudolph is on the field, sometimes the scouting reports have to be revised a little bit because often quarterbacks like to throw short to get a rhythm. For Mason Rudolph, he loves the deep fade and he loves the deep post pattern. Anything over the top, those are his favorite shots downfield, and that's what gets him comfortable.
The run on first down gets him a couple up to the 27.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Rudolph off play action. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Harris. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Rudolph
And this pass broken up. Well, the contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On 4th down, here's Presley Harvin on to punt. Charlie Jones deep for Cincinnati. Taking it about the 16. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick back in 2020 from LSU. It's Joe Burrow.
Hey, we all love a good story, and what we like even more, guys who can fight through adversity. Joe Burrow coming out of high school, goes to Ohio State, doesn't get a chance to start, transfers to LSU, not thought to be a top prospect, ends up the #1 pick in the draft, and justifies it. Tremendous play, excellent mobility, and leadership off the charts.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Now Burrow to throw on 2nd down. He'll drop this one down to Mixon. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. Third and 3. Here's Burrow. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. T.J. Watt able to get him down for a loss of 11, and it brings up 4th down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. So on 4th down, on is Brad Robbins to punt for the Bengals. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin. This is fielded at the 27. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. Rudolph looking to throw. And he short arms that one just a bit. It's low and incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
2nd and 10. Now Rudolph. Over the middle, complete. It's Robinson. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Throwing on 3rd down, here's Rudolph. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first job there, stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. They run again with Harris. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
A long way to go here on third down for the 8th play of the drive. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. A strong run there, and for a team and a coaching staff that says they're consistently striving for a solid running game, they love those plays.
Yeah, that one didn't net them a first down, but isn't it the type of play that you write down on your sheet? That worked pretty well. Make sure you come back to it, especially in a key situation.
Boswell's kick is good, and the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So after drive number 3 here, we have a score, and it's 3 points after the field goal.
I would say the feeling out process for both these teams, I'd say it's over, partner. Everyone understands what's going on now. You've kind of probed a little bit. Now you want to start throwing the big shots. First 3 points up on the board could be significant.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own